workers and general laborers. Suizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Suizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Derek Pearson, brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
It is Thursday. Bach, we'll do it old school. 11:02. 11:02 in Lincoln, Nebraska. 58 degrees outside. High of 64. High of 64.
Beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day. Gorgeous, as my uncle would say. Lincoln, you're gorgeous today. Lots to talk about. Big time signing day yesterday. Lots of news in the athletic department and things going on. And it's the good news, where additional members of the Husker family. The Husker family grew yesterday with some folks who committed to various programs. We'll talk about that. Guest in studio, I'll introduce in a moment. But first, Bach, kind sir, if you would please pay the bills.
Yes, today's show is sponsored by Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest quality technology and communication service since 1901. Whether it's residential or business, Hamilton has the answers. Visit hamiltontel.com for more info today.
Thank you, sir. Bach, how are you?
Not
How are
bad.
you today? Yeah,
It's, at least it's nice outside.
Right.
I'm trying to get my get some chores done before winter really hits.
You're having a fantastic Bach hair day.
Is it? Yeah, I haven't checked my hair, I guess.
Right, like no, the beard is bearding.
Yes.
I have the full facial hair envy. So when you come in and it's magnificent, I just have to applaud you.
I appreciate it.
Kind sir, because it is not all of us get to enjoy.
Is Bach going the no shave November? The winter.
I would, but I usually just rock a beard either way.
He
So.
looks like a
round,
caveman though when he goes in full. You can be a part of the show. 402-464-5685. Charter Heyman text line. You want to be a part of what we're doing, and you do. Reach out. Hit us up hit me with a WhatsApp, and then we'll bring you in. You can follow on all the live video streams: Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo Channel 961, Amazon Prime if you're fancy, and some of you are. Download the Ticket app so you can take us wherever you go. You want us to be where you're at, so please do so. It is with great honor and pleasure I introduce the Nebraska women's tennis head coach, Herman Dalmagro. Once again, kind sir, how are you?
How are you? Well, thank you for having me. It's been great. Having a great day here. Obviously beautiful outside. Gets to 70 tomorrow, I think. So we're gonna practice outside, I think, tomorrow. So
Oh, nice.
it's good. But no, thanks for having me. Always appreciate your support.
What's
anything Huskers?
What's your rule of thumb for indoor outdoor? I mean, I know that your ladies would set the preference, but what is your coaching theory?
I mean, I try to go outside when we can, and we try to go basically on weather, wind, and kind of what's ahead for us. If we feel like we could benefit from outdoor tennis and it could be a little colder and windier, if we need it, then we go outside. But I feel like if depending on what we're working on, on the day, I think tomorrow we're kind of into an off-season type of moment for us, so. A lot of development and just kind of letting the bodies recover a little bit from competition, and then before we start pushing them again, on the preseason type before they go home for Christmas. So today was a really good day, early today at practice, and tomorrow we'll try to go outside, enjoy the sun, and get some work done. And I think it's good to put all of our players in different environments, going on the road, playing home, playing in and out. I think as a team, we need to be adaptable to any circumstances. So, and sometimes you get really used to indoor tennis. It's nice and comfortable, no wind, no sun, no weather elements. So we kind of get spoiled by it. So I think it's good to get a little bit of uncomfortable too. So tomorrow will be a day that outside after a couple of weeks indoors. So then go enjoy.
Imagine a coach wanting his people uncomfortable. That isn't that like a big part of the morning plan, is just figure out how can I make them, how can I shake things up a little bit?
We actually just talk about it. We have a little team meeting yesterday, and we were talking about like sometimes your progress, how you keep developing, it comes right outside your comfort zone. So it's trying to, once you get too comfortable with something, then you got to keep pushing, right? So you got to get a little out of your comfort zone, and that's how you keep developing, and that's how you keep improving. So
you also mentioned a thing that the women of your program have kind of taken some ownership and taken strides towards being more involved and more proactive.
Absolutely.
And how does that identify? How does that look for you?
Yeah, I think it's we have an amazing group. I love our team this year, and I think it's we've been asking, as me as a coach. I always say, hey, I would love for you guys to take ownership of this. It doesn't a lot of things doesn't always have to come just from me. The coaching staff, and I think it's good that some things come from them, because I think they take ownership, and I think it's good. So yesterday, actually, in the team meeting, I was surprised, but happily surprised, that they kind of like, hey, we as a team, we want this, keep doing this, do a few more things here and there, and I was like, hey, I like this, because they're taking ownership, and they feel like, hey, we feel like, we have such a good group, we care about each other so much, and we really want this, and I love that. I love that because I've been preaching for it. So, and I think it's good to see it. And I told them, it's like, our line of communication with coaching staff, or me in general, it's like it's open. I want them to be like, feel the freedom, they can come to me for anything. I think that trust is mutual. So,
is that a senior led thing, or is that just leadership kind of naturally, organically taking over?
I think the second. I think is that we don't have any seniors this year, so there's I think it's a little bit of a combination of everything. Just the leadership the individual it brings, and I think the togetherness that this team has, and I think it's like it's kind of like I don't even think they started with one. I think it started just like they all kind of look at each other and it's like, hey, we really want this. We won. We were having a good year last year to a point, and then we kind of like had an injury and kind of fell apart a little bit at the end. But still, we have a really a good solid group. Last year too. I think this year they feel just like a little more like not senior, but it's kind of more just like individually led. Which I think is kind of cool. I think it's cool, and I'm letting them take that ownership as well, which I've sometimes, I don't know, some of the best teams I've been a part of as a player, as a coach at times, is where players are taking a lot of ownership and accountability as well, besides just me giving that, accountability. So, and I think it's good. And we have a very healthy group, and very, organically, like they mesh together really well. So I think it's good. I like it.
How important is it that in that organic leadership, that your best player, the actual best player, maybe the best athlete, is a part of that leadership? Doesn't it make the rest of it easier?
I mean, it does. I think it does. And in this case, I think it's kind of been everybody. So it definitely helps. It helps, and I'm welcome. I welcome that leadership from anywhere it comes from, and I think it's that you can, especially in a small group like we are, 8 to 10 players, is, leadership doesn't always have to be vocal. It can be by example, it can be led by just.
It could be the hardest worker.
It could be the hardest worker, and it could be like a quiet but harder worker, and they lead by, by doing all the right things, So, I think it's important, to have that, and I think it's like, yeah, some of our best players, are also vocal and won the best for the team, which I think is helpful.
You take pride in the fact that your program is one of the academic leaders in the athletic department. Where does that leadership, where does that standard come from?
I think it's just, I don't know. I feel you can be good in different areas, and I think you can, like, I think we give them the time, we give them the space to be good in all different areas. Like we try to set up practices or schedule or things to allow them to succeed in different aspects. So I always say, like, hey, when you're in school, when you're doing homework, I don't want you to think about tennis too much. Like go attack that and be the best you can be at it. And then when you're on the court, I don't want you to think about school too much. Just I want you to focus on tennis and what you're doing at that time. So I think if they can have different compartments in their heads, it's like, hey, when I'm here, let me focus on this, and when I'm here, let me focus on this, and that way, I think you can excel in both. Like I don't want to take away from one or the other. They are student athletes. So I want them to live here. As like a holistic version, better than when they arrive. Whether that is if they continue to be professional athletes or if tennis college is it. And then when they leave here and they don't want to play anymore, they felt like they're leaving. More equipped. With more tools, not just in tennis but outside too. And I think we have an amazing resources, people around us that also want the best for them. So I try to kind of let our academic advisor or our life skills or strength coach, I can at times let them be the leader when they're doing their thing. I try to not overstep because like they're really good at what they do. So it's like, hey, go and make them the best you can be in this area. So
It's pretty good to hear that you will mention from the academic, the off court stuff. What is the ratio or the component where the young ladies talk to you about pro? Because sometimes pro will happen naturally. Sometimes you have to plot and plan the path to it. How big a part of that is that for you and your ladies?
I mean, it's for some it's big. They really want it and they want to play a lot, and I support that. And for some it's kind of more of a kind of we'll see how it goes type of deal. And for some, it's like maybe not a priority. But that doesn't mean that if pro is not a priority, doesn't mean that they're not going to give it their all and they're going to be the best they can be in college. Like I feel like that's like a misconception sometimes that people have, that it's like, oh, I don't want to play pro. That they think that college is not going to be, you can still have a great experience. You can still be really good. You can be maybe some of the best college athletes ever and not play pro.
Right.
So I mean, you can have some that, in some sports you kind of like feel that's the path. In some others, you can be like, hey, I'm good and I want to do something else, but I still want to give it my all in college and be a really good athlete. And then I feel like, we try to internationals tend to have emphasis in pro a lot.
Yeah.
But some of the US athletes as well, then we, actually the kid that we just signed, she wants to play pro too. And we have others that want to play pro, but they want to kind of take their time. Like want to keep developing. Some others want to play half and half, pro and college, and we try to give them that flexibility and allow them to kind of feel that they're still pursuing their dreams of playing pro while you play college and you still have a balance. So yeah.
Speaking of signings, yesterday was a big day in the program. Big day for the program, a huge stepping stone. Let the folks know in the change of direction. We always say the change of elevation and location. Like these signings have that potential, and you don't want to always put it on the person, but some are built for it.
Yeah.
You had a big signing, and maybe one of the biggest signings ever here. Let the folks know what happened yesterday and who's the newest addition to Husker Women's
we
Tennis.
just signed. Her name is Katie Spencer. She's from Orlando, Florida. Great kid. Great family as well. So I think it's she will add a lot. I think she's been kind of one of the best players in the country in juniors. In tennis, you play national tournaments and you win like a gold ball is for first place, like kind of the best in the country. And she's won 2 silver balls, in singles and doubles. So she's like, she's a great competitor. She's somebody that wants to work hard, wants to develop, but also wants to be a big part of a team. Like she's very team oriented, and I think we're gonna get her best while she's a part of the team. And I think she will add to the culture right away. I think she's very similar in personality with the current teams that we have, and she knows already a few of them to where she feels like it's gonna be pretty natural, when she steps on campus, and she's looking forward. She's talking how much she's already feel like a Husker before being a Husker. Like when she came on a visit, and she felt very, very kind of at home and connected, with me, and the rest of the staff and the players. So yeah, I think it's good for us. I think it's like, yeah, like at a high school recruit, I think she's like, at one point was the highest recruit we ever had, and she was like the second signing. I think Conley, out of the US players, we just got here, a transfer from Tennessee. She's a sophomore for us right now, and she's kind of around that as well. And I think it's good. It's the right step on the direction of the program. It's kind of where we want to take it. We want to keep moving up. We want to keep moving forward. We want to, I always tell the recruits or parents or anybody, it's like, why not Nebraska? Like I want this to be a place where the best players come, to develop or to feel like, it's a place where they can be the best they can be. And we have the resources. I feel like, we have the conference that that we played some of the best teams in the country as well. And yeah, I want Nebraska to be a place where, these players of this caliber or ranking, they're considering us. Yeah.
What was the turning point in recruiting that allows this to happen? What's the thing that's different?
I don't know. A lot of conversations, a lot of relationships, a lot of like calls, a lot of like trying to build that rapport, with the recruits and their families. Like if they reach out, or some of these players that come to play tournaments here and they realize like, oh, actually, Nebraska's much better than I thought. It's like, and then a couple of them I started like, Katie came to play a tournament in September that we hosted, and then she's like, wow, this place is amazing. I never would have thought that. And then kind of after that, it was like, started asking questions, it's like, oh, what is your philosophy? What do you coach? What do you look for? Like, and I think it's kind of, a lot of phone calls, a lot of, trying to build a relationship and trying to understand kind of like my philosophy or where they look for and how we're going to develop them and kind of what things they're going to do and what things we're going to do. And then sometimes they talk to current players and they kind of share experiences, on like, well, why did you go to Nebraska? Like you coming from the South or coming from anywhere else. Why did you choose there? And then they share kind of what their experience has been like, or, and then, it's a combo, of all, but, I don't know. I'm hoping, this it keeps moving the program in the right direction.
The tide is turning.
Yeah,
the tide is turning.
That's the goal.
You mentioned the conversations that happen between players. In some sports, the players before they get to college are extremely well connected. They compete against each other on a regular and consistent basis. They talk constantly about rankings and coaching styles, playing styles, training styles, that sort of thing. How connected is tennis, women's tennis, before they get to University of Nebraska?
I mean, it is connected, but the one thing I think sometimes happens is that tennis is a very individual sport before you get to college. So it's kind of all about yourself, all about like, well, what edge can I take on my own? But they have a lot of friendships. They're very close. Most of these tournaments they play doubles as well, so they play with their friends. So it is very connected. So I would say, just pretty much anywhere you go, they will know somebody. So I think it's yeah. I mean, the players that we have, and they always say, oh, can I would love to talk to one of your players about her experience so far. And they always kind of connect, and they kind of share the experience. And I think it's we spend a lot of time together, so I think it's important for them to also know that kind of hear it from a different kind of lens, not just from the coaching stuff, just from because they're going to be spending a lot of time together. So I think they need to hear from them too. So it is they know each other. Tennis is big, but also like within the US, most of them go play the same tournaments, 10, 15 tournaments a year, and then all the tournaments, they go everywhere else. But they see each other, they kind of know of each other, and then they form some connections through that. Even sometimes it could be through coaches, sometimes it could be through to families. Like we have a visit early this fall that that led to a connection from a coach and a parent to like, a connection to a parent from, somebody else that we're signing, and they talk, and then like, then you later find out that it's like, oh, you know what? That's like, I'm considering this because I talked to somebody else that visited and they love it there. And, that's why we're reaching out kind of this. So it's like, oh, this is, it's good, which is kind of what we want. We've been investing a little more in visits and trying to bring more people here. And for those reasons, so they know that Nebraska is a much better place than what people sometimes realize. I talk to coaches or players, and they're like, "Oh, Nebraska's nothing there." And then you ask them, "Have you been there?" And they say, "No." But it's, "Oh, that's just what I heard." And then every time you bring somebody or they know somebody, then that person starts spreading the word. It's like, "No, actually, this place is much better than what you think it is."
It is
So,
part of the recruiting process is to identify who would fit here,
absolutely,
like who would want to be here. But the other thing you just said about playing singles and doubles, how does that play into recruiting? Does everybody you recruit as a player, are some of them double specialists, or some of them single specialists, or do you kind of prefer that one, they have the ability and the willingness to play both?
Yeah, you want the ability to play both. Like sometimes some players have a little more skill in the double score, and some others a little more skill in singles. But you kind of want to have a combination of both. One they can step in and compete in the singles lineup, and then also play in your doubles. We do have we're now we can have up to 10 players. But we compete at a time 6 players, and you can't sub them in and out while you play, and you have to play the whole match. And then at times during the season, we have played every single player in the roster.
Yeah.
Last year we have 8 players and we play all 8.
Yeah.
At different times, because of injuries or, like one play doubles, the other play singles because of those skills. So sometimes at times we use most of our roster. So you kind of want to, it's kind of our job as coaches to kind of identify, match day, who's going to help us in the single score and who's going to help us in the doubles. And doubles, sometimes we base it on not just skill, but, how they mesh with their partner, kind of how they connect to see how they can be a really good team, together. And then it's how can we have 3 teams, that compete and they can give us a chance to win, So it's a process. Sometimes we change partners to kind of to see, who plays well together and whatnot. But yeah, you kind of want both, both skills. I think for example, Katie, the one you signed, she's really good on the double score and she's really good on the single score. So I feel like she's going to come and make an impact. But we also have, very good skill players right now in our current roster, that can contribute in both sides. So yeah, I'll have my work cut out for, when us coaches making the lineup, and I think it's, we want those decisions to be hard decisions, because it means that we're deeper as a team, and it means that everybody has the level to compete, at this level. So I think it's a good problem to have, but it's obviously never an easy decision to make, because you always feel like you're going to leave somebody out of the lineup that could make an impact as well. So it's a tough decision, but we'll always try to make the best decision, for the team. So.
I would love to be in the room as you try to figure out what the double teams, what the pairings are, because I cannot imagine, having coached high school girls, sometimes the pairing is the hardest part.
It is. It's like you want to like don't second guess yourself. We put a team together and then they don't play well, and then you're like, oh, should I put this other team? But then you just got to stick with it and then trust it and give them the best opportunity. And whatever happens, then next batch we try to either make a change or give them another chance before we make a change. And it's like we try to put trust on them as well, and then we try to work on it and prepare for it, and then feel like if they're going to step on the core, just they have an opportunity. And then if it doesn't work out, then we make some changes, and we try to be open and with them, because it's not easy, and sometimes that's probably the hardest decision we make as coaches is kind of the lineup on match day. It's never easy because it's so hard to make everybody happy, and is
it play in as the rule, or is it sometimes just intuition, coach's gut?
I mean, sometimes intuition, sometimes you could be matchups. Sometimes you could be like, well, this team plays this kind of style, and maybe this pairing will give us the best chance. So we might switch that. Sometimes it could be, the body, or, we're playing outside or inside. Some players are better inside than outside, and vice versa. So we try to kind of make the best decision we can, knowing that sometimes you make the right one, and sometimes you don't, but
the complicated world of collegiate tennis.
Yeah, it kind of is, and I think it's like what's different in some sports as well. You have it, but in tennis, it's like, we can make subs. That player has to play in there the whole match, and whether they're playing well or not, you just have to stay there and play the whole match, and you can't sub them in and out. And the thing is, like in tennis, is we have lineup, right, 1 through 6 in singles, and you have to play them basically in order of ability.
Yeah.
So you can't like play matchups too much.
Right.
If somebody plays 1, the next match they can't go play in 5.
Right.
They have to play 1 or 2, and that's it. And you can't, So if you take somebody out, then everybody has to move up. So I feel like sometimes you're giving up, a little bit of strength when you take somebody that is not playing as well. At times you just have to play them anyways, and you have to like work through things, So it's a little, pieces of the puzzle sometimes, that it's like, I would love it. At times it's like, if we have that flexibility to be like, you know what, you just had a few minutes that are not good, I'm going to take you out and put somebody else.
We'll let you regroup.
Let you regroup. We don't have that. They
No.
have to figure out on their own sometimes. We can help them obviously, but they're the ones playing, and they're there, and then they have to, that's why I think tennis is such a mental sport, So.
The strength of it all. We'll go to break here. When we come back, I asked Coach Dalmagro, with signing day, it reintroduces the discussion about programs and whether they're willing to recruit high school athletes versus transfer portal, what the philosophies are and what the thinkings are, because each program is different, each coach is different. I'll ask Coach about that, because signing Katie Spencer is a loud pronunciation that, quite frankly, yes, we're willing to get young athletes and develop them. Not everybody wants to do that. A lot of folks want to win now at any cost and say, I would rather not have that. I'll ask him his thinking on high school versus transfer portal and international level competition. We'll do all that on One-on-One when we come back.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
There's always a new experience to be had at Arbor Day Farm in Nebraska City. From events, adventures, wine tastings, or the Discovery Ride, you can never get tired of seeing what the property has to offer. Make a weekend out of it by staying at the Lead Lodge and enhance your stay with their special packages that include luxurious treatment. Learn more or book your adventure today online at arbordayfarm.org.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Acreage owner getting ready for winter? Make it easy with John Deere compact tractors and gators from Acres Equipment. Add snow blowers, front blades, cabs, heaters, and loaders to tackle every chore. Right now, in-stock units are priced to move with competitive financing to fit your budget. Get winter ready today at acres.com. Acres Equipment, your acreage handled. Financing subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial. Not all customers qualify. See dealer for details.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds. Be warm with the high around 70. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, with low around 43. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with a light breeze with record highs, the high near 76. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Yeah, Bach, talk to me, man. You're in the room where it happens, and when you start to hear how it really works, what the behind the scenes are, the average fan doesn't know how collegiate tennis works and how it works at Nebraska. And then as you hear it, I think, am I wrong in saying that people would, if they knew how they could support this program, why it wouldn't really take much to help turn this into a powerhouse? Bach, am I wrong in that?
No, it is. It's fascinating to listen to the conversations, think about the roster building and all that, the modern day of NIL. But yeah, I mean, I think a little bit of help would go a long way.
Yeah, I'm curious now. My brain is turned on to something. Herman Dalmagro, Husker women's tennis head coach, and we were talking about the development and the changing of NIL and revenue sharing, more scholarships, at least in theory, being offered. And then some coaches and programs and athletic departments making the choice that to send their recruiting focus to the transfer portal rather than high school. Your signing of Katie Spencer is a loud statement that, yeah, high school players still have value even at the Big Ten level.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And opens the gate, because once one high school star sees that Nebraska is in the game, then others show up. So your philosophy on winning now and development in one, it's got to be like a seesaw and trying to get balance between winning now and developing a system that allows you to win long-term with young talent.
Absolutely. I think it's a yeah. I think it's I think it's a balance between the two. I think it's a balance, and obviously, yeah, we go hard for the best high school recruits in the country, and sometimes when they don't choose us, then we have to, explore somewhere else. Obviously, we want to win now, but also, have the longevity of the roster, and then just like the build up on the players that they can continue to develop and feel like they can make like Nebraska their home. So obviously allowing signing Katie is great, and she's one of the best, in the country, and I think it hopefully it sends a message as well that I think and they can come as a freshman and contribute right away as well, because I think they have the level, they have the talent, and we got a couple transfers. We have a few transfers, like that I felt like, I'm just starting my third year, and when I got here, we already have 4 seniors, that year, and so I have spots, and I was going very heavy, like for the best players, Americans and internationals, and I was going right away, and I was going for like big names, and I was trying to be like, let's go, and then when I did, and then we kind of went a little bit on the transfer, but we have great kids, from the transfer. I'm like super happy with everybody that is here, and then this past year, yeah, we got Conley and Catherine out of the transfer too, but they have 3 years left, so I feel like they can develop a lot, and they can make Nebraska their house, their home type of, for longer than just like a year type of deal, and then yeah, I mean, we go first, Americans and high school, and then internationals high school too, and then we try to obviously be adaptable, because we can't just kind of be stuck in one way. We have to kind of get the best that we can, that want to come here, that want to be here, but also have the level to compete here in the Big Ten. The Big Ten is not easy, so yeah, I mean, I believe in freshmen can make an impact right away as well. Yes, they'll need a little time to adapt, and develop, but I think if they have the level, I think they can make an impact right away, and I feel like Katie will, and I feel others, we're talking, it's good to be freshmen, so I think they can as well, but you also have to allow them to have the, if you want an impact, if you want to have a consistency, throughout the years, you have to allow them to a point to develop too. You can't just always get kids that are ready to go. We want that, but if you have that consistency, if you want that, you also need players that can be here longer.
Do you have a set ramp up time for freshmen, like, or new players when they come in? You go, you know what? If we're going to have you play in the fall, I need you here by a certain time to get acclimated, learn what we do. If you're going to want them to play second semester, there's a time. You're kind of limited sometimes about when they could be here.
Yeah.
But if somebody commits second semester, getting here right away is vital in order for them to prepare for a season.
I think it is. I think each situation is different. So we try to go by each situation. We want them obviously here, and but at the same time, if they're traveling and playing tournaments, it's also good for the development, to keep traveling. If their opportunities are limited, depending where they're from and kind of what coaching they get and all that, then maybe bring them here sooner is a good option. Obviously, the more time we spend together, the more we get to know each other, and the more we can kind of see what their strengths and weaknesses are, what their habits are daily. Because, yeah, when we go watch them compete, we only see, a portion of that. And then obviously once you have them here daily, then you see kind of what they do daily, right? So, yeah, we I think each situation is different. Like Katie's actually graduated early high school, and she's going to join us in the spring. And then she's ready. She's ready to compete and ready to kind of like, she feels like she's going to thrive more in in this environment than staying home another semester. So we're very excited to have her. So
there are lots of athletes who in the recruiting process think that they have the athletic talent, skill set, the will to develop. How often does it happen that they have that athletic talent but don't have the academic matching? What do you do with those?
Yeah, it has happened. It happens. It has happened. It's happening currently, in the recruiting. So you just we try to find a balance, like, because you can't be eligible if you don't make your grades. And then what good does it do to us if if you're really good but can't make the grades, and then you can't play? So you need to have a balance. And sometimes, we try to explain that being, you don't have to be a 4 student every single semester, but you need a balance between the two. You need to pass your classes. You need to, go to school, and also you need to perform on the course. So it's a combination of both. It happens. I mean, it is happening less now than it used to happen. Let's say 15 years ago, players used to just quit school and then go play pro tournaments, and then literally we quit school, and then we'll like finish later, and then when you try to recruit them, then it's like, well, I haven't even finished high school, and they're 18. They need like 2 or 3 years. Now that mindset has changed to where they would do online school, they would do, so they can travel and play, but they still keep studying. So now the internationals, now we get a little more of the English proficiency. So they need to get a certain grades English wise to be able to be admitted to the school. So we deal with that more than just like not having the grades. For now, I think the grades are, some are higher and lower, but we pretty much getting the grades. But I think they're understanding more of it, like, hey, I need to keep up my grades. I need to pass the classes. I need to,
That's a big part of international recruiting then. The English transition, whether the credits would transfer, whether we find out if a recruit is actually proficient.
Yeah. I mean, we were recruiting this past semester. We were recruiting a girl from Korea. She's a very good player, but she quit school, and then we could not get her eligible academically, and then she would have been a stud. But
is there any program that would allow a year's development? There used to be redshirt programs that used to sort of happen.
I think some are, and I think she's gonna end up in a program where we'll allow her that. Unfortunately, it's not here.
Or would you send them to junior college somewhere?
Yeah, they might go to JUCO, or some Division Ones are willing to work through some things, But I think she just NCAA wasn't eligible for Division One until she needed to get all her, high school graduation and classes and terms and all that square. But you try to advise them early on of that, But obviously, if they make choices before you can even talk to them. If they make a choice at 15 or 16 before you talk to them, sometimes they're already behind, because they need to catch up, and some do, some don't. It's it's kind of sad to a point, because I feel like it just gives them less opportunities.
Yeah.
And I always feel like I always tell everybody, whether you end up here or not, having more opportunities is better than having less. So you want to have more open doors, right? You want to have more chances, whether it's like a Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, or Power 4 or mid-major. It's like you want to have opportunities. So it's like keep studying, keep doing the right thing, because you never know what happened, right? So if they're thinking only professional tennis and not college, I was like, well, you still have that opportunity, because you never know what happens, right? So yeah, we try to advise them of that, but obviously each one makes their own decisions, So
how much of this process is you communicating with their current coach and whatever that situation is about their path, their way, the potential? Maybe asking, hey, are we wrong in seeing what we think we see?
I mean, we have those communications, we try to build those relationships with coaches and parents sometimes too, and I think most of them, I would say, they have the right intentions, and trying to help their players. Some others, they say, hey, I want my player to stay with me and play professional.
That part.
And I don't want her to go to college or her or him, so it happens a lot. And then, but you try to educate him and try to, again, it comes back to, give them the opportunities. Now, let them make the choices and you can help them, but have those opportunities. Now, whether you come to college or no, or want to play, it's different. But I feel like they shouldn't be closing their doors, and sometimes when they take too much time after high school play, then they don't want to consider college. And then maybe 2 years after, they're like, oh, you know what? I'm not doing as well as I thought. Now I want to go to college. And then you're like, well, you lost a year or two at Laville, and now, you can't. And then you can't go Division 1 anymore, or, little things happen, right? So you always want to advise them to have, those, opportunities and keep them open, and,
and they still need to have a place.
Absolutely.
Like it's like, hey, if you came right away, I could see you at 4. If you wait, I don't have. I found a 4. I found a 5.
Absolutely,
I don't need you anymore. We'll take our second break when we come back. We're gonna go up and down this roster because there's some personalities on this roster that I want Coach to kind of give folks the insight on who the women of this program are as we get our eyes forward to a season. Signing day yesterday, a big day for Husker women's tennis. DP Coach Dalmagro Bach. We will be right back.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One on One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Leaves are falling and temperatures are cooling down, but don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Winter leagues begin on December 1st and are open for registration. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker Watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate or team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at doubleeagle.golf.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right. $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Schwieso Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwieso Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwieso.com. That's SCHWISOW.com. Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Acreage owner getting ready for winter? Make it easy with John Deere compact tractors and gators from Acres Equipment. Add snow blowers, front blades, cabs, heaters, and loaders to tackle every chore. Right now, in-stock units are priced to move with competitive financing to fit your budget. Get winter ready today at acres.com. Acres Equipment, your acreage handled. Financing subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial. Not all customers qualify. See dealer for details.
There's always a new experience to be had at Arbor Day Farm in Nebraska City. From events, adventures, wine tastings, or the Discovery Ride, you can never get tired of seeing what the property has to offer. Make a weekend out of it by staying at the Lead Lodge and enhance your stay with their special packages that include luxurious treatment. Learn more or book your adventure today online at arbordayfarm.org.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hey everyone, this is former Husker volleyball player Mandy Monson. Join me after every Nebraska volleyball match for an hour of post-game coverage each match. Home or away, win or lose, join me as I take you through the players that changed the game and the plays that made an impact. It's Husker Volleyball post-game with me, former Husker Mandy Monson, only here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to One on One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's as we get smarter about what happens in the programs and what they need in the programs, and what the philosophies are, then I think it allows Husker fans, the Husker community, the Husker boosters, to be purposeful in how they help programs like Huskers women's tennis. There are ways, and that to say that you could add two of the top players and it really wouldn't be that costly. People don't know the numbers, so they can't in their mind say, well, geez, if I knew that was the number.
Yeah.
So I think these conversations are important.
Absolutely.
Because
I'm getting smarter just by being here with
well,
you guys, so that's good.
Well, it's in the process, right? And Bach and I have these conversations all the time about, well, does this make sense? And I ask the question all the time. Why is this the way it is, and why doesn't it move in a different way? I'm smarter today because now I know that there are ways for Husker fans who love Husker athletics to actually participate in the process and feel like they have skin in the game and they have the ability to impact, and it's not going to break their bank. Like, it's not going to ruin their bank account to do it. So we have some new information. This is and Bach can tell you when I get a scent, I'm pretty good about following the scent to making the thing work. So Coach, it's special. You have a fantastic roster. We met two of the young ladies the other night through Mike Smith and Mike Smith Live in the weekly disruption. You even have some future media people on the roster.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this roster of yours.
Yeah, I think it's a great group. A great group. I think they're very selfless. They care about each other. They want kind of, we talk about a lot about being there for each other and kind of lifting each other up, type of deal. And I think this group is very good at doing that. We have players from all over, around the world, around the U.S., and I think but we work hard, as a staff to trying to bring people together in this group that thinks similar, that has similar goals, that has similar values, and I think once you put them all together, it's just easier for them to kind of, get along and kind of ride the ride together. They don't have to pull in different directions because they don't have too many values that don't align. So I think that was important for us as coaches. Trying to find that between a balance between like the talent that will help us, but also the personalities and values that will help us keep the team together.
Well, they seem to like each other, and that doesn't always happen.
No, it doesn't always happen, and in girls, especially in a small group, it doesn't. But and we're not going to sit here and say that it's always going to be perfect, but I think that the more we bring people together that are, selfless, that want to be a part of the team, that want to push each other, that want to work hard, that want to be good, but also want to be, a team, and I think it makes it easier. It makes it easy, those like tough workouts or tough practices or long nights or flights or trips or tough losses, right?
Yeah.
It will make it easier because knowing that, we're there for each other and, we're going to give it our all and, and then go back and be a team again.
Coach, we're going to do it again next week. I'm back Monday, so if you can do Monday, just text me. We'll get you back on the regular schedule, and there's so much to talk about this roster, about the process, and about your season.
Absolutely.
And thank you for being informative and teaching us and coaching us about what's going on in the program.
Thank you for having me and for let's put women tennis, on the map more there. So I appreciate your support and and always having me is an honor. So
yeah, we're gonna get back out there to take some swings.
Absolutely.
That's next on the list. Don't go anywhere out of character. Up next, that'll take you till 1:00. Then Bach in the black shirt, the Hall of Famer, will be in the building. And then Old School on an afternoon. It's going to be a full day here at The Ticket.
There's always a new experience to be had at Arbor Day Farm in Nebraska City. From events, adventures, wine tastings, or the Discovery Ride, you can never get tired of seeing what the property has to offer. Make a weekend out of it by staying at the Lead Lodge and enhance your stay with their special packages that include luxurious treatment. Learn more or book your adventure today online at arbordayfarm.org.
Comfort food